All right, today we're in section 1.6, perimeter and area. We'll be finding the perimeter and area of a rectangle and a square. All right, so you should have been working these review problems. Let's check them real quick. S plus 5 when S equals 4. What's my answer, class? What is it? 9. Very good. What about number 2? 48. Very good. What about number 3? 34. Very good. What about number 4? Whoa.
63.
40. You've got to add what's in parentheses first, then multiply, then add 40. What, you don't agree? You see where you went wrong? All right, and then the last one's 63. Anybody get them all right? All of them? Anybody miss one? All right, okay, very good. So in example 1, we are basically just looking at some terms here. All right, let me see if it'll come up. Okay, so our terms for perimeter and area. Perimeter is the distance around a figure, okay, the sum of the lengths of the sides. And the area is the amount of square units needed to fill that shape, okay? So go ahead and write down those terms. So let's put some of this into action. In example 1, we're finding the perimeter of 2 figures, and I'm only given the dimensions, so I have to figure out, is this a rectangle or is it a square? All right, so in the first one, it says I have a length of 5 feet and a width of 2 feet. Would that be a rectangle or a square? And why? Manuel?
I think it would be a square.
He thinks square. What do you think? Rectangle or square? So with a rectangle, Cabria, she thinks rectangle. Do you agree with her? You should. Okay. Why? How do I know it's a rectangle, not a square? Because
rectangles have 2 sides that aren't the same length and squares do.
very good. Because rectangles, all right, they have one side that's the length and it's longer usually than the width, right? So all the sides are not equal. That's why I have 2 different dimensions, a length and a width. All right, so you've got to be able to kind of determine that based on the dimensions. So now that I know that it's a rectangle, what is the formula to find perimeter of a rectangle? P equals 2 times length plus 2 times the width. And now we plug in our values, okay? So we always start with our formula. We talked about this yesterday. We always start these with our formula. We make our substitution, and we get 2 times 5 plus 2 times 2. And then we just add them together. P equals 14 feet. Okay, so original formula, substitution, and then boxed answer. Original formula, substitution, and boxed answer. All right, so what about the second figure? What about the second figure? Yep, it is a square because it has one side length, and we know that all the sides of a square are equal. So our formula to find perimeter of a square is what? 4 times S. 4 times S, and our value for S is 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. All right, the hardest part about this lesson is just remembering your formulas. Okay? Again, and it's a process. Original formula, substitution, boxed answer. All right? Got it? All right, so now moving on to example 2. In example 2, we're going to find the area. So again, we have to determine what kind of shape is it? Is it a rectangle or a square? And then we can plug in the right formula and solve. All right, so the first figure, what do you think? Rectangle or square? It is a rectangle. Very good. So I need to use the formula for the area of a rectangle. Length times width. Always start with my formula, show my substitution, and then box my answer. All right, so now let's look at the next one. What's the formula that I'm going to use? Someone raise your hand and tell me. What's my formula, Noah? Not S times S, but It's pretty much the same thing, but I want you to write it s squared. S squared. Okay, and so then I square the side, and I get 100 feet squared. All right, now in example 3, we're kind of just pulling it all together. We're going to use this shape over here. In your book, it says that it's a slalom course, like an obstacle course, but I just basically drew the shape on the PowerPoint. It gives us these dimensions, and it asks us to find the perimeter and area of this figure. So I want you to go ahead and find both now. Find the perimeter and the area. Remember, use your formulas. You've got to start with the formula, show your substitution, and then box your answer. So perimeter, Blake, what did you get?
Perimeter, I got 92.
All right, do you agree with him? 92?
Yes.
Did you get that, Mackenzie?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, good job. And what about area? What'd you get, Alexis?
480.
Do you agree with her?
Yes.
All right, and then don't forget to square your unit, okay? 480 meters squared. Good job, guys. All right, so one more thing I want to cover before we do classwork, okay? And I want to look at this problem. It tells me that the perimeter is 24 inches, and the side length is what I don't know. So essentially, I'm working backwards here, okay? I know the perimeter, but I don't know the side length. I still have to figure out, okay, what kind of figure is this? Is it a square or a rectangle? What do you think? Would this be a square or a rectangle? Manuel? Well, he says probably a square. So do you agree? Blake, do you agree? He thinks it's a rectangle. How do you know? How do you know what it is? Okay, does it give me one side length or more than one side length to solve for? Only one. It says S equals, so that means that all of the sides are going to be the same dimension. And what kind of shape is that? It is a square. Okay, so I'm going to go P equals 4S. That is my formula to find the perimeter of a square. And now I need to plug in my numbers where they go in the formula. 24 plugs in for P. And now I ask myself, 4 times what number gives me 24?
6.
So S equals 6. All right, any questions? What if we did area? What if we did the area is 64 feet squared, and I don't know the side length. I don't know the side length. I want you to try to solve that one. Okay, so we've got A equals S squared is our formula. So 64 equals some number squared. All right, so we got to work backwards. What number can be squared to equal 64? Deja? 8. Very good. S equals 8. And did we have a dimension? Yeah, 8 feet. All right, so that's going to help you on number 24 in your classwork today. If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 1.6.